Now we review Kraven the Hunter. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have seen the latest installment in the Venom-verse, I guess? The Marvel Sony side of the Marvel multiverse? I'm confused. I don't understand. Kraven the Hunter. For those of you who are uninitiated, for every 1,000 subscribers I get, I do purchase one of these bracelets from 4Ocean. 4Ocean pulls a pound of trash out of the ocean every time I do that. I'm trying to create a better world. Need your help. Anyway, Kraven the Hunter. He is best known as a Spider-Man villain, I believe. And in the larger Marvel scope of things, he is basically the world's greatest hunter. He's sort of something of a discount Batman, I guess, or a discount Spider-Man or something. He's got animal powers. In this particular iteration, he's just suffered. His father is the leader of a massive Russian drug cartel. His mother has committed suicide, and the only person he loves in this world is his brother. They go off to Africa instead of going to their mother's funeral, I guess, or something like that, because the dad's like, your mom committed suicide, so she doesn't get a funeral, because I suck. Played by Russell Crowe. And so he goes to Africa, gets mauled by a lion, gets some lion blood in him, and then gets magic potioned into Kraven the Hunter, okay? After finding out that his dad killed the lion, he gets butthurt, because I don't understand, and goes off to become a vigilante, I'm tired, and kills people who bring misery into the world. How he funds this operation, I don't know, but he loves animals. So he's the tree hugger Kraven. I don't think Kraven the Hunter is necessarily a hero or even an anti-hero. I think normally he's the bad guy. In fact, I think he's kind of... Look, he's one of those anti-heroes. You know, his thing is that he's got animal powers. He kind of has spidey senses in this, although I guess it's like lion vision or some crud like that. I have no idea. There are basically 4 superheroes or super beings that appear in this. One of them I can't remember the name of. He's like Hand of Glory Man. Hand of Glory Man means that, you know, a Hand of Glory can freeze people. So he can apparently freeze people. And then he's like the underling to Rhino. And Rhino, his thing is he's got stone skin. Rhinos are not that tough, okay? They're not. They're I mean, I don't go messing with them, but they're not that tough. If you're going to worry about any animal in Africa that's like big, you're more worried about a hippopotamus, because those things are territorial. Elephants, I wouldn't mess with them either, but rhinos, they're not as aggressive as one would think. Anyway, so Stone Skin Rhino here is trying to become a major monster kingpin, and because he brings misery into this world, he's after Kraven. So Kraven has to go beat his ass or something like that. It's a really weird movie. There's not a lot of strength to the motivation, is what I'm saying. I mean, Kraven, we know he's upset. I guess it's just the trauma of nearly losing his life. Oh, wait, no, 5 beings because of Calypso. But exactly what Calypso's power, I don't know. She's kind of like a witch, but she's a lawyer. Anyway, and then the 5th one doesn't appear till the very end, and I don't want to spoil that. So, what we have here is the character of Kraven, which is, he just doesn't look hard. Firstly, Russell Crowe is probably the best actor in this movie. The guy that plays the Rhino, this is not the dumb Rhino that we've seen in previous films. Totally different character, and he's biologically, 100% biologically the Rhino. And the thing about him is that he's kind of like a reverse Venom. Or no, not a reverse Venom. A reverse guy with the mask. Bane. Different universe, of course. But he's a reverse Bane. Bane takes his sauce and becomes Bane. This guy stops taking his sauce and becomes the Rhino. Apparently it sucks to be the Rhino. It's very painful. So anyway, exactly what the motivation... I mean, apparently Kraven is just a vigilante. He just, likes hurting bad people and being a bad person on his own. All right, this is kind of a thing. But he looks way too soft. He's a very poorly cast choice. And just as a thing, you really never believe him as Kraven. He doesn't have enough personality. He doesn't have any particular quirks or, a particular seemingly love of animals. In fact, Rhino has the dog as a pet, and the dog really loves him. And that's kind of the thing, is that you never really see Rhino do anything but bad things to bad people. It's like, except for maybe a drug dealer's son or something. But primarily, you're not given the idea that you should truly hate Rhino, so you're not totally against him, other than the fact that he is against the Kraven, who is apparently a good guy who goes around killing bad guys. And that's probably the point of this movie, is it never gives you the emotional chops to fill out these characters. You never care enough about them. It's like, Russell Crowe's character, he's a drug kingpin, and Kraven tells you he brings misery into the world, but we never see that misery. I mean, what happened to the mom? That's the question. Was she addicted to the smack and that's why she killed herself? Did this guy see a lot of people suffering from their drug addiction? Is this something that happened in this universe? Because we never see it. It's very much a side point. This is a very sterile, cold universe without the strong character motivations that they should have. We know Kraven was very close to his mother, apparently, but we never feel that loss. He never cries. It's like, oh, your mom died. Okay, are we going to the funeral? No, we're going hunting. And that's kind of where this film is at its worst, is just that the characters never make you believe. That's what's happening. The characters never make you believe. Now, it's like, you could look at the CGI as subpar. It's not great CGI. And, yeah, this is what I would expect on something like, an HBO made for cable movie. Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not terrible. It will probably play better on a small screen. The lion as a character, which mauls Kraven, not enough development there as to why that particular lion is supposed to be so powerful. He's apparently a legendary lion, but they never really go into why. And these are all things that it's just like, there's these sort of Easter eggs that if you know the story of Kraven, this is a much better movie. But you don't know the story of Kraven because you're not a big fan of the franchise. So you're just watching this going, I'm not engaged. And that's where this movie fails at its worst, is it fails to create interesting characters. And I mean, Kraven has never been an interesting character to me. The Rhino, at least he had some development. And Kraven's brother, I think it was Dimitri. I mean, like, his thing is he's a scaredy cat. But you never see him cower in fear or anything. It's not a big enough thing. And it's like, it's set up that, like, part of it is his, he wants his dad to be proud of him. But it's never done. There's never enough there as a character for us to care that he wants his dad to be proud of him. It's not like, oh my God, this is the big thing he's always wanted for his entire life. It's never developed enough. So the thing about this movie is it doesn't push the emotions hard enough to make you care about the characters. It's just, like the cliche, there's the guy, he's just about to retire, and, oh, here's a picture of his kids. Yeah, because that's designed to endear you to the character, to humanize the character, so when the character dies, you feel bad. That's how that works. In Kraven, he never even fully becomes the character recognizable from the comic book until the end. And even that ending, it doesn't seem to have a lot of impact. I mean, they're setting this up to be part of a larger universe, but I mean, this is supposedly the last film in this series, if it could even be called that, because it really doesn't connect to the other films. This is one of those things, if you're going to give a superhero character, you need to give them character. Like, Superman is the ultimate Boy Scout. He's the kind of guy that saves kittens, and saving a kitten is as important to him as stopping a purse snatcher. He's army level, he's like major conflict level strength, but he is the ultimate Boy Scout. He is the purity of good. He is the White Knight. Being the White Knight means that normally he's the one who can be corrupted, because he is so pure that he's easier to corrupt. That's kind of a thing. He goes rogue several times. Batman is the Dark Knight. He's a very stoic character, and as a stoic character, he has this strict moral code, and he is a detective. That's strong personality. Okay? Venom, great character, loves to eat brains. I could tell you things about Venom. He's got this sort of, many would call it homoerotic relationship with Eddie Brock. Kraven, apparently he's just pissed off because his dad was a dick. Which, you never really see the dad being a dick to him. He speaks to him harshly. That's about it. So yeah, look. This film just doesn't have the panache. It doesn't have the polish that it needs to have to make you want to watch it. It doesn't have the character. And you could talk about the poor production values and the bad CGI. The fight scenes were okay. By that point, two super beings punching each other, I don't care. It's like, yeah, the real climax should have been that Rhino as a character, he's indestructible. That's his power, is durability, essentially. And Kraven, he's seen to be pretty durable, though. He's not as vulnerable as a human being. He got mauled by a lion and he came back. I don't know if you shot him in the chest, would he die? There are poisons used throughout the film, and that may have something to do with it. But truly, Kraven as a character, his limitations are not put out there. You see him jumping off buildings and breaking through glass and all those sorts of things. So you don't know how vulnerable he is compared to the Rhino. The Rhino's powers are reasonably well defined because they show that, bullets can't penetrate his skin. But Kraven the Hunter, his powers are a little more nebulous. So seeing him go into a fight, you don't really know what's going on. He seems pretty durable, so you don't really feel the fear for him. That's kind of those things. Even then, I don't think the Rhino's powers were used well. One of the things I say about these particular films is they really should break them down to nuts and bolts role-playing games. And, it's like, okay, Rhino can't be pierced by, whatever. You have to roll a D6 or whatever it is to see if you pierced him. There should be a lot of, I'm hitting him but nothing's happening, because he's the Rhino. That's his thing, durability. I don't feel that was carried through. I feel conservation of power was another problem for this film. Although, to be completely honest with you, I don't know if I would have cared if I cared enough about Kraven to worry about his success. It's like, okay, yeah, what he's after, I can relate, I can understand, I can even sympathize, but you never feel it. You just never feel the emotional impact. So, where does Kraven the Hunter go in your watch list? It goes in the lower half of your watch list. There's nothing particularly wrong with the film. It wasn't disgusting or cringeworthy. It wasn't something I would necessarily avoid. But, I mean, it's going to be just as good or just as bad on cable. So, lower half of your watch list. It is not a film to necessarily be avoided, as it's not that terrible, but it is a film that you shouldn't pay money for. I mean, if it comes available and you have nothing better to do, there you are. Go watch Kraven the Hunter. Otherwise, I mean, it's not something that you're gonna worry about. If I had to watch one over again, Morbius or Kraven the Hunter, I would definitely watch Morbius again. If I had to watch Kraven the Hunter or any of the 3 Venom films, I would watch probably the first Venom film and in the order they were made. Okay, so this is, of the films I'm aware of in this universe, this is probably the rock bottom, and I don't think any of these films were ever thought of as great. But this one, it just doesn't have the fun of Venom. It doesn't have the character of Morbius. And it is very much the plain yogurt of movies. It is just go to the store, get some yogurt, plain yogurt with no sugar added. That is what it is like to watch this film. It's eating that. No fruit, no granola, no nothing, just that. Anyway, just my opinion. Love to hear yours. Comments below. I'm Richard.
Greetings, humanity. I'm Randall the Rat, and I'm here to remind you that, well, you should probably comment, like, and subscribe now. And why? Well, the world isn't all that great, and Random Street Theater here is trying to change it. We do things like have trash removed from the ocean, pay for trees to be planted, and even feed orphans. And you can help. You can comment, like, and subscribe, and it's free. When you think about it, if you don't do those things, well, what are you saying? Are you saying you don't care about the ocean and trees and even orphans? Well, sounds like you're a bad human. And you have a delicious face.